What is the one word I can say that will make every business owner and web designer break out into a cold sweat? SEO. Yeah, that includes me too, depending on the day. We know our websites need search engine optimization, but many have no idea how to do it easily or, more importantly, effectively. So today I'm going to do another tool evaluation episode, and this one is on a product called Rank Math. It's an SEO tool that we use to make this whole thing a lot less scary, more effective, more efficient, and to save my team money on deodorant too. So let's get started.
Inkyma's Marketing Strategies is a podcast for small business owners hosted by Audrey Kirchner, co-founder and chief marketing strategist at Inkyma, helping you navigate the world of marketing so that you can market your business in the right way, see growth, and thrive regardless of the industry you're in. To learn more about Inkyma and what we do, ask a question, or schedule a marketing evaluation, go to the website inkyma.com. That's INKYMA.com. Listen to the show on your podcast player of choice, the Inkyma website, or the Inkyma YouTube channel. Just search for Inkyma Marketing Strategies and you'll find what you need.
Before we get into the details and the depths of this tool, just a couple of housekeeping things. Show notes. I'm going to be referencing a lot of links to a lot of different things, and if I make mention of it, it's going to be in the show notes. So go to the website inkyma.com, INKYMA.com, go to the episode, and all those links will be in there. The second thing I want to share with you, more of a disclaimer, is that I am going to be talking about Rank Math today, and we do participate in the Rank Math affiliate program. And so what this means is if you go into the show notes and you decide to click on the Rank Math link and sign up for an account, or more importantly, a paid account, we'll get paid a small commission. We don't do this for the money. We become an affiliate so that we can talk about the product because it's the product that we use. We think it's the best one on the market, and we use it for every single website that we manage the SEO for our clients. Alrighty, enough disclaimers, enough about show notes. Let's get into the content. So I know I'm talking about search engine optimization again. I thought I covered everything I wanted to cover in episode 22, and I could put this one together because, frankly, I didn't think it was a topic that people wanted to hear about a lot. But lo and behold, surprise to me is that episode 22, where I talk about an SEO strategy, is actually one of our more popular and more downloaded episodes. That's telling me it's something people want to listen to and learn about. So I figured today I'm going to go into a little bit of a different deep dive and talk about the specific tool that we use for all of our clients here at Inkyma. And we use it to get really good organic traffic to their sites. And so we're seeing really positive results, meaning before we just started doing this type of implementation, traffic was at a certain point, regardless of the site. Once we implemented it going forward, we saw vast improvements on specific keywords, on increased traffic. And for many of our clients, there's more organic search coming through than the paid for anybody we're doing paid advertising for, which I think is really cool. So now let's talk about what Rank Math is. It is an SEO plugin tool for WordPress websites only. If you have anything but a WordPress site, those sites will have other types of tools that you can use, but they're very different from Rank Math. So this is very specific to WordPress website owners. So it is a plugin. And when you put the plugin in, it's going to give you the overall status of the optimization of your entire site. And it's going to do it at an individual page level. And it's done directly within WordPress itself. So you go into a post and there's a panel that opens up for Rank Math and will actually grade every individual page for you. And it scores it 0 to 100, 100 being the best. The higher the score, the better search engine optimization you have. The lower, and you need to fix it. And they actually color code it. Red, yellow, green. Green is the best, red is the worst. And then they even give you things to do to improve that score. So it's a really easy way to optimize a page individually and optimize your overall site. So the bottom line here is if you have a WordPress website, you no longer need to break out into that cold sweat when you're attempting to drive organic traffic to your website. So why am I jazzed about this whole tool set and everything like that? Let's delve into the history of search engine optimization a little bit. So before tools like Rank Math, there are others out there, you really needed someone on your team that could develop, meaning use code, and then manually update the code for the search engine optimization, because really the optimization are for Google and Bing, the search engines, and they're looking at the code of the website. And I think that's why search engine optimization feels so daunting, because it didn't have a pretty interface that non-developers could use. And developers would be the ones writing all the articles about that, and they're speaking to other developers. So the rest of us who are not developers try to read that, and it makes our head spin. At least it does for me. When I start reading about, okay, put this in the code here and put that in the code there, I shut the browser down and I go grab coffee. But all that changed when a product called Yoast came around. That's Yoast. They're a competitor to Rank Math, and they were the first ones on the scene. And they were awesome. They do a very similar thing. Everything is done within the WordPress website, mostly without coding. But then Rank Math came along, did the same things Yoast did, but they actually added a really cool feature that made us, my team and I, switch to Rank Math about 3 years ago. And that they included schema markup and schema systems directly into the tool set, meaning I can set up schemas without having to code it. Back when we were using Yoast, you still had to do that manually and connect them together. Yoast would read it, but you still had to create it, and that was really tough. So I talk more about what schemas are in episode 22. That's where I give you a strategy for SEO to make that high-level thinking process a little easier. So in episode 22, I did talk about Rank Math just a little bit, and I touched on it. So I figured in this episode, I would give you the full rundown of the tool, the features, what they have in there. And if at the end of this, you're a fan and you want to give it a try, go to the show notes. There's a link to sign up for Rank Math there, along with what I gave you is a video tutorial. I did not create the tutorial myself on how to set up and utilize the tool. So the bits and bytes of where to click and what it means and all those details, which is really important when you're setting up something like this. So the number one thing to remember before we dive into the features and the benefits of this particular tool is you don't need any coding skills, right? You don't need HTML. Everything is interface based, meaning you fill out fields, you follow directions, and the SEO happens. What you do need to know in order to use the video tutorial when you go to download and set it up is you need to know your target audience, who you're trying to attract to your website, and then how they research and educate themselves on your specific industry, your products, and your services. That's the real gem of this, because that's going to help you figure out things like keywords and keyword phrases, and you're going to need to know what to put in there. And that's going to be based off of knowing your audience and who they are. So I did a 3-part series on branding, and in that, I delved really deeply into audience research and customer personas, and I've done a couple of other episodes about that. If you're at that phase where you're trying to figure out what your keywords are and who you're talking to, go and listen to those episodes, because that will be really invaluable to you. Okay. Benefits and features and benefits of the Rank Math tool. So the first thing, cost, right? Cost is always a factor. Well, here's the really good news. Rank Math has a very, very robust free version that you can use indefinitely. They do show you what all the other features are, of course, that are part of the pro or the paid version. And if you need those, then it's $60 a year to get the paid license. And in comparison, Yoast, they only have a paid version, and that's $90 a year. So at least something like this, there's only sweat equity in order to implement it and see if you like it or not. Again, for WordPress only. So if you have a non-WordPress website, whatever it is, there will be other tool producers out there. I don't know if they have anything close to a Rank Math type of product for those. Anything that I've seen when we have put in a Shopify site or a Shift for Shop site and implemented an SEO plugin, it didn't work nearly the same way that Rank Math did, which made me a little sad. because we really enjoy working with the tool and it makes it so much faster. So it just takes longer. We had to go back and sit on our SEO skills before Rank Math in order to use those tools in those different environments. So if you've got a WordPress site, you're in luck. If you don't, this is not going to be applicable for you. So inside the plugin, in the dashboard area, there is a setup wizard, and the setup wizard walks you through a bunch of questions about your business and all that cool stuff. And what it does is it sets up the overarching structure in your index, which is just something that Google reads to know what your site is about. And so it takes that coding piece out. You answer all of these questions, and then not only does it set up the index, it will help you submit that index, that site index, to the search engines and create your consoles. This is important because indexing your site is how Google figures out who you are, what you're doing, what you're about, and so that they can serve up your content when people are searching. That's the real crux of it. They will eventually find your site, but it's far faster to get your site indexed if you submit it. And then with a console account, which you set up through Rank Math, every time there's an update, it automatically gets submitted so that when you write a blog article, it gets submitted and you want to get that indexed as quickly as possible. So that one's pretty important. And it's super easy, takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're done. You're listening to Inkyma's Marketing Strategies, and I'm Audrey Kirschner, and we are evaluating the Rank Math search engine optimization plugin for your website to make it easy, efficient, and effective. Now let's get to one of the two big meat and potato parts of this tool, and that's the page level search engine optimization scoring. So on any page, whether it be one of your main pages like your service page or your home page or a blog post, there is a panel inside of that page for Rank Math where you can set up your focus keyword phrase, not just a single keyword, but you want to do a whole phrase. In episode 22, I talk about the difference between the two and why you're using phrases as opposed to single keywords these days because search is much more advanced. And you get a score against your article or the content and the images on your page, XXX out of 100. And this tells you how well optimized your page is. A low score, you need to improve the optimization. A high score, you're doing good. And then it's color coded. Red is low, yellow is it's okay, green is great. So the more pages that you have in this green phase, the better off your overall search engine optimization is. And then it also provides recommendations of changes that you can make on the website that will affect the SEO score, putting in an alt tag, putting in H1 tags, and how to do that within the system is all part of that video that I put into the show notes of how to set things up. You may need some additional plugins for WordPress to make things easier, but in general, everything is there. And then your keyword phrase is only found 1 or 2 times. It should be there X percentage of the time. You have so many words, you should increase your words by this. Those are the types of recommendations that it makes. So the reason that this page level SEO is so huge is that you need to keep constantly updating your website. That makes Google happy. And so that's where your blog comes in, because your blog gets to be that really long form content, 400, 600, 800 words that keeps adding and changing. And so the index keeps updating and Google's like, oh, this page is extremely active. And that's what Google likes, is an active page. Whereas opposed to your main pages, your home page, your service page, a lot of that content, once it's created, it's static. You're not going to keep changing that over and over again. If those are done right, you're going to have limited content. You don't want long blocks of text to tell people who you are, what you're about. More importantly, are you a business for them? So this is really for business owner websites and not just straight blog sites. And so you need to balance between the short form and the long form. And that's why I always recommend that a business website has a blog so that they can write these great articles for educational purposes, keep the search engines happy, yet leave their main pages scannable so that they can get the customer to take action. And you rank it all with this page level search engine optimization. The second feature is the built-in schema processes. I talk in detail about what schemas are in episode 22, but really all it is, it's a way for you to identify content to the search engines as to the type of content it is. And the big ones are recipes, videos, and FAQs, right? There's all this other stuff. There's article schemas and there's author schemas and all this other stuff, testimonial schemas, but those are the big three. And so when you identify something as a frequently asked question, an FAQ, what it's going to do is that schema, if the search engine sees it and the content is applicable, it's going to lift that content up and out and then put it as a snippet at the top of the search bar. I'm sure you've seen this when you've searched. That panel that comes across the top, maybe you're searching for recipes and it gives you 3 or 4 different options with pictures to click on, but it tells you what it is. They show you the picture and then the link to the site. With the FAQ, it'll actually give you the question and the answer without you having to click through, or a snippet of the answer. And those features are used very frequently. You're still credited as the source and you're up above anybody whose full article is ranking higher than yours, which is really great. And this is why schemas are important. Video schemas are on the rise. They're definitely being used more and more with YouTube, but I think you're going to see them become much more relevant in the years to come too. And so all of that is done natively within Rank Math. You don't need to code as well. So really cool feature. I love schemas. I think they're really important. All right, so let's move on. Reporting and data. In the past, we've relied on things like Google Analytics. If you have a Search Console account, looking at that data. Now, all your search engine optimization data is sitting right within the tool inside of your website. So there is an analytics tab in the dropdown. And when you go there, you can see things like your top keywords, your top phrases, top links that people are, and then it shows you if the impressions have gone up or down over time. Really cool data. And so what you can derive from this is you can figure out what content people are really, really interested in, and maybe what content is not. And so for content that's doing well, meaning you're getting more impressions, more click-throughs, people are searching on that phrase, write more articles to support that because you're getting more people that are interested in that. And this is where that strategy comes back in of who your targeted audience is and what they want from you. Writing an article that supports your product and services is immensely beneficial because it helps educate the customer. And then for other content that's not doing as well, maybe you go back and try to increase the ranking, maybe add a secondary keyword phrase, which I'll talk about in a minute, to see if it does any better. And then sometimes you just wait because things shift and change over time. An article that's not doing well today may do well in 6 months because of social, political, and environmental changes that are happening in the world. All of a sudden, it comes top of mind. So here's an example. I have a client, they do senior in-home care. And before the pandemic, we did a couple of articles on video conferencing with seniors. And those did okay. They did really well. So much so, we were like, okay, let's do a couple of series, like how to pick the tool, how to help them set it up. We had 3 or 4 articles. So the articles were doing well. Didn't have a lot to do with like physical care of seniors in their home, but it was a way for families to relate together. Once the pandemic hit, those articles just skyrocketed because that was the only way people had to communicate with their loved ones because we were separated. And then, of course, we were keeping ourselves more separated from the elderly who were a higher risk population. And so since then, the search for those articles have gone down because we've normalized and we've mainstreamed. So that's just one example of how content impressions can ebb and flow. So the last feature I want to talk to you about for Rank Math is one of their newest features. As of this recording, it's a month and a half old. We don't completely understand its benefits yet, but I see its potential. And it's their new artificial intelligence feature. So it's a new little section there, and what it's supposed to do is help you intelligently update your content, give you alternate keywords, give you a couple of more things to do to help the ranking improve, and then also add and update things directly to the content in certain places. So we're still playing around with the tool. It's got a lot of potential, but what it does is it shows the forward thinking of Rank Math and where things are going. Artificial intelligence with writing and search engine optimization, which, the two go hand in hand, is where their brain is going. It's like that next step, that next evolution for website content. So I'm really excited to see where this new feature is going to go. So hopefully you feel like, one, search engine optimization is a little less scary, and that maybe a tool like Rank Math is doable for you and something that you can implement and then measure and track and see how much better your site's doing. And especially since you can start with the free version and you may not need to upgrade, or you get so excited that you want to upgrade, then the only thing you're investing really is sweat equity to get it set up. So now let's walk through your next steps so you can take action and use the knowledge that you have just learned. So the first thing I want you to do is, if you have a WordPress website, talk to your web development person and talk about wanting to use Rank Math and have them install it. If you DIY your web development, go grab the free version of the plugin. Next thing I want you to do is get educated on how it works. Don't install it and poke around and expect it to just work, right? This is a tool that you have to learn a little bit. Go watch that YouTube video that I put in the show notes for you. It's a real beginner level video, talks you through the different fields, why they're important, all that really good stuff. And then also listen to episode 22, where I give you the strategy of why and what you want to do for this as well. I talk about figuring out what your strategy is and what your goals are. And then number 3, get set up and start with one page on your website. So get that setup wizard going, make sure everything is good, and then go to one page and upgrade your ranking on that page. It makes it much easier. I would recommend starting with a blog page instead of in your main content pages, because that's a little easier to digest, especially because it's long format content, 400-600 words, and you can add keyword phrases in there. And then I also want you to make sure that whoever's doing your ongoing content, blog writing, whether it's you or you have a writer or someone on your team, make sure they're writing for both humans and the bots. The humans need the content so that they can get educated and hopefully move on to buy products and services from you. But the bots need all the SEO stuff so that they can get the content to the humans. So it's a balance. So here's my final thoughts for you. With a little time and a little patience, this is absolutely something you can implement or instruct your current web dev team to implement if they're not really super SEO savvy. I had one client tell me, one of his former dev guys, he goes, "Well, install this and then we'll hope it works." And what I say to everybody is, hope is not a strategy. Implement something that if you do it the right way, you're going to see results and things that you can tweak and change. You can even train an administrative person on your team to do this. That's how user-friendly this tool is. But if you need help figuring out what your search engine optimization strategy is, what that target audience is, what those focus phrases are, and what the content topic should be, that's where someone like my team and my company can come in, because we can come in, evaluate all of that for you, do all of those things. And then if you still need someone to help you with the other stuff, we can pull it all through. We can write the articles, we can optimize them, the whole shebang. So it's really your choice. You can have us come in and do just the upfront strategy piece, get everybody set up and ready to go, and then you take it from there, or we can just stay on board and do all the work for you. So SEO is not just about ranking high. It's about creating content for humans to get them to want to buy products and services from your company, to engage with you. Really, the techie stuff is just to get that content in front of them and to create that awareness. So remember, balance is the key. Write amazing articles. Above all else, write those articles and make them amazing. Here at Inkyma, we like to give back to the business community. I provide a free 45-minute marketing consultation to any business owner, regardless if you're looking to hire a marketing company or not. Maybe you just want to talk through what you think your SEO strategy is and ask me if, hey, does this seem right? Sometimes just that peace of mind of talking to an expert and knowing you're on the right track is really all you need. Or you do want to talk about having us come in and take this over lock, stock, and barrel. Either way, that 45 minutes is yours. Just go to my website, Inkyma.com. That's INKYMA.com, yma.com and click on the button in the upper right-hand corner to schedule a marketing evaluation. Pick your date and time, and we are on the calendar. If you just got a quick question, there's a contact form at the bottom of every page. Just fill it out, and I respond to every single one of those. Hopefully you found the information and this episode helpful, useful. If you did, share it with your business owner friends. Every business has a website. Every business needs to have search engine optimization. My goal is to make sure it's done the right way with as little cold sweats as possible. Thanks for listening and have an amazing day.